but I am doing God's work now. And that is all I'm doing.
That I'm prepared to handle that as well. But yeah, it was something. Moments where you're kind of, almost channeling truths into
just a game. There is a reason why you see people dressed up as Satan, not just, like Satan slipping himself in a little bit. No, full on visuals of Satan, people dressed as Satan, dressed as a demon, got upside down crosses all on their clothes or pentagrams on their clothes. And people are just like, oh, that's funny. It's, we're making fun. No, there's a reason why the entertainment industry is doing it.
So, did China Anne McClain really get pushed to the sidelines by the entertainment industry after speaking out about what she believes happens behind the scenes? If you've been following China, you already know she's been very open about her concerns regarding Hollywood and the pressure she says some performers face while chasing bigger opportunities, more attention, and larger paychecks. What's even more interesting is that comedian Katt Williams made similar claims over the years, raising questions about how the industry operates. His comments sparked a lot of debate, and many people felt his warnings were dismissed or brushed aside, much like what some fans believe happened with China. The thing is, China wasn't just another newcomer trying to break into the business. She was building serious momentum and looked set for an even bigger career. But somewhere along the way, her path took a different turn, and she gradually stepped away from the spotlight, especially following the heartbreaking loss of Cameron Boyce. Around that same period, the series Black Lightning, which China starred in, came to an end, and rumors quickly started spreading online. Some people claim that her growing faith and changing personal beliefs may have influenced her future in the industry, though those reports were never officially confirmed.
What I did know and have known, along with the rest of the cast, since before we even started shooting this season, is that I am leaving the show and was leaving the show. This was going to be my last season, regardless of if it went on or not, for different reasons that, to be honest, I don't want to go into. I just want y'all to trust me on it. There's been a lot to happen over this quarantine. These things are real. These people that are dying in the way of the world now. And all this is an illusion. It's an illusion.
Discussions and theories about what really happens behind the scenes in entertainment have been circulating for years. What made this situation stand out to many fans was that the comments were coming from someone who had spent most of her life working in the spotlight and had first-hand experience with the business. Because of that, plenty of people paid close attention to what she had to say. Up until then, China's career seemed to be moving in a very strong direction, with bigger opportunities appearing one after another. At the height of her career, China was landing major roles and moving from one big project to the next without slowing down. But according to some supporters, things began to change after she became much more outspoken about her personal faith and spiritual beliefs. They believe that her views put her at odds with certain people in the entertainment world, leading to fewer opportunities and a much lower profile in the industry. As a result, China became even more vocal about what she sees as troubling influences behind the scenes in Hollywood. Her comments sparked a lot of discussion online, with supporters and critics debating her perspective from every angle.
This industry, for what it is, and everything that people look to and praise, it's not important. God is moving me in more than one way than just this show. It's bigger than this show. I'm doing God's work now, and I'm not doing anything else. Just gonna put it plainly. I'm not leaving because I had a terrible time working.
Now, remember what I mentioned earlier about the difficult period that followed Cameron Boyce's passing. At the time, official reports stated that his passing was linked to a long-term medical condition called epilepsy. However, China has publicly questioned that explanation and has said she never expected that to be the reason given. Over the years, she has continued to share her doubts and ask questions about the circumstances, which has only fueled more speculation and debate among fans online. It's important to note that these are her personal views and have not been confirmed by official sources. It was around this period that China began stepping away from the entertainment world more noticeably. Fans saw major changes in both her appearance and her online presence as she focused more on her personal beliefs and spiritual journey. She cut her hair short and started sharing videos on TikTok about how her faith had changed her life and helped her see things differently. Those posts quickly grabbed attention, but they also sparked plenty of criticism. While many people supported her message, others felt some of her comments came across as dismissive of different viewpoints, which led to heated debates across social media. At the same time, China's accounts became filled with faith-based content as she openly discussed her beliefs and encouraged others to explore their own spiritual paths. The reaction was mixed, with supporters praising her honesty, while critics questioned some of her statements.
This is actually happening, I think. I think that my mind is just kind of shut down at this point. So I'm just kind of feeling a little numb, just like a little bit empty, like just going through the emotions and just like, I never again have a friend like Cameron.
One of the biggest controversies came when China shared her thoughts on Lil Nas X's Montero music video. When the video was released, it created a huge online discussion because of its symbolic imagery and artistic themes. People across the internet had very different interpretations, and China's comments only added more attention to an already heated conversation. Lil Nas X responded to some of the criticism with a tweet that said, "I spent my entire teenage years hating myself because of the hell y'all preached would happen to me because I was gay. So I hope you were mad. Stay mad. Feel the same anger you teach us to have towards ourselves." The post quickly gained attention and became a major topic of discussion online. Not long after, China reacted to a clip of Lil Nas X speaking about Christians who warn gay people about punishment, but then become upset when those same themes appear in music and entertainment. Her response sparked even more debate because many viewers felt she wasn't fully aligning with either side of the conversation.
The theory of general relativity is what Einstein is famous for. In his calculations, he started to realize that the universe was not eternal. It had a beginning. Now this leads us to the law of causality. Everything that came to be needs a personal entity that is capable of existing outside of time, space, and matter. That can't be nothing but God. And for people that are like, okay, well, how do you know that it's like Christianity's God? There's only one God. But don't just take my word for it. Go look into it for yourself. One more thing. Evidence is not a substitute for faith. Following God is not a matter of evidence or proof. It's a matter of the will. You have to want to do it so you can have the peace that you're looking for. And if you don't want to make that choice, no amount of evidence is going to convince you to. You have to want to.
Some people believe she was trying to take a middle ground approach, while others felt her position was unclear and difficult to interpret. The discussion grew even larger when China expanded on her broader concerns about trends in entertainment and the types of messages she believes are becoming more common in popular media, creating another wave of reactions across social platforms. Many people quickly pushed back against China's interpretation of the Montero video, arguing that she misunderstood the message Lil Nas X was trying to convey. The disagreement spread across social media, with viewers offering very different perspectives on the video's meaning. In the music video, Lil Nas X is shown facing punishment and rejection before being brought before a crowd that casts him out because of who he is. Throughout several dramatic scenes, he's portrayed as being judged, criticized, and isolated by those around him. Later, the story takes a symbolic turn as he rises upward before suddenly descending into a darker setting filled with powerful visual imagery. Supporters of the video argued that these scenes were meant to reflect the challenges, judgment, and fear that many LGBTQ+ people experience in society, as well as messages they may hear about their future or identity. Because of that, critics of China's comments felt the video wasn't promoting dark themes at all, but was instead using symbolism to highlight the effects of condemnation and social rejection.
No secret, this building that I'm in right now built itself. You believe me? You don't? Why? Have you ever met the builder of this building? Seen the builder of this building? Do you know their name? If you believe someone built this building, why?
Even with all the criticism, some supporters felt China was raising questions that deserve discussion when she talked about the pressures and expectations performers can face in the entertainment business. Her comments reminded many people of statements Katt Williams has made over the years about the challenges of working in Hollywood and what can happen when someone speaks openly about their experiences. Others, however, strongly disagreed with those claims and argued that there's little evidence to support many of the theories being shared. The debate continues because people have very different views on how the industry operates behind the scenes and whether public figures are treated unfairly for expressing controversial opinions. Katt has also spoken in the past about image, public perception and the pressures placed on celebrities to fit certain expectations. Because of that, some viewers drew comparisons between his comments and the broader conversations China was having online. At the same time, fans have pointed to the ups and downs of various artists' careers as examples of how quickly attention can shift in the entertainment world. Public interest, trends, and changing priorities can all have a major impact on how often a celebrity remains in the spotlight.
You can't blame God. Because I've heard so many people say, no, I don't believe in God because he ain't never tried to show me no sort of sign. Really? How'd you come in contact with this video?
What makes Katt Williams' situation especially interesting to many people is that he's not the only celebrity who has publicly questioned parts of the entertainment industry. Over the years, several well-known figures have shared concerns about Hollywood, but supporters of Katt argue that he has remained unusually outspoken despite the criticism that often follows those kinds of comments. People often bring up names like Dave Chappelle and Jim Carrey when discussing celebrities who have challenged industry norms or spoken about their experiences. Their comments and actions have fueled years of speculation, with fans debating whether these stars were simply expressing personal opinions or trying to draw attention to larger issues within the business. One of the most talked about examples involves Dave Chappelle. In 2003, he signed a reported $50 million deal with Comedy Central to produce additional seasons of Chappelle's Show, which was one of the network's biggest successes at the time. Then, during production of the third season in 2004, he unexpectedly stepped away from the project and traveled to South Africa.
Just say hypothetically for a second that God doesn't exist. I'm not saying that people that don't believe in God are not capable of living moral lives. I would never say anything like that. The point of this video is questioning what the foundation for morality is, objective morality.
After his departure, numerous stories and rumors began circulating in the media about why he left. Chappelle later disputed many of the claims that were made about him, and his sudden exit became one of the most discussed moments in entertainment history, sparking years of debate about what really happened behind the scenes. Dave Chappelle later spoke publicly about his departure during a 2006 appearance on The Oprah Winfrey Show, and that interview became a major topic of discussion among fans and media watchers. Many viewers felt it offered insight into how he viewed the situation and the challenges he faced after stepping away from one of television's biggest shows. Some audience members believe the conversation focused heavily on public concerns about his behavior and well-being, while others felt Chappelle was trying to explain deeper reasons behind his decision to leave. As a result, people walked away from the interview with very different interpretations of what they had seen. During various interviews over the years, Chappelle also spoke about a pattern he believed existed in the entertainment world.
There's a lot of confusion about the way God is represented by people versus who he actually is. Comments like the one on top of Lil Nas's video, they often turn into back and forth conversations about religion. Christians against the gay community or Christians against everyone else, when it's really not about Christianity or religion at all. The truth is that God exists. I don't believe in God because a religion tells me to. I know God. We have a relationship. Like I have a relationship with my mom, dad, my sisters, my brother. So when God is represented badly by a Christian or by someone that's been hurt by a Christian, it really makes me sad because it's not who he is. And that behavior also drives so many people away from getting to know him.
Questioning why some celebrities appeared to face intense public scrutiny or personal struggles after reaching major career milestones. He pointed to several high-profile examples that had received enormous media attention, including Mariah Carey and Martin Lawrence. Those observations sparked plenty of debate, with some people agreeing that fame can bring extraordinary pressure, while others argued that every situation is unique and influenced by many different factors. Chappelle also pointed to his own experience as an example, noting how unusual it was for someone to walk away from a deal reportedly worth $50 million and leave the spotlight so suddenly. He encouraged people to look at the circumstances for themselves and form their own opinions about what may have influenced his decision. Another topic that has frequently come up in discussions about Chappelle involves a story he shared regarding a comedy sketch and a costume he was asked to wear. According to Chappelle, he felt uncomfortable with the idea and ultimately chose not to participate. Over the years, that story has become part of a larger conversation about creative control, artistic choices, and the pressures performers can sometimes face while working in the entertainment industry.
It's about influence. There is a reason why you see people dressed up as Satan. Full-on visuals of Satan, people dressed as Satan, dressed as a demon, got upside-down crosses all on their clothes or pentagrams on their clothes. People think that this stuff is just a game. No, there's a reason why the entertainment industry is doing that, y'all. They know good and doggone well that God exists. They also know that Satan exists. They're just counting on the fact that y'all don't know.
Supporters viewed it as an example of an artist standing by his personal boundaries, while others saw it as a disagreement over a specific creative decision. For many supporters, the comments made by China Anne and Katt Williams have raised questions about how the entertainment industry operates behind the scenes. They believe both have been willing to speak openly about their experiences and perspectives, even when those views attract criticism and controversy.
Others see the situation differently and argue that many of the claims being discussed remain matters of opinion rather than established fact. Still, the conversation continues because their remarks have clearly resonated with a portion of the public. One supporter commented, "She is brave for speaking up. There are a lot of deviating things happening in Hollywood. Her faith in Jesus Christ is the only thing that matters in this life, and for her to leave her acting industry because of her convictions and her faith is admirable." Another person shared their frustration with the industry, saying, "What a sick industry. The entertainment industry needs a complete overhaul, and the criminals who wield power in the industry must be brought to justice." These reactions show just how strongly people feel about the debate. Of course, not everyone agreed with those reactions. Plenty of people pushed back, arguing that Hollywood is made up of thousands of different people and that it's unfair to paint the entire industry with the same brush. They pointed out that personal experiences can vary widely and that one person's story doesn't automatically represent everyone's reality. Still, what keeps this conversation alive is the fact that more and more former child stars and longtime entertainers have started speaking openly about the pressures that come with growing up in the spotlight. From intense schedules to constant public scrutiny, many have described an environment that can be incredibly difficult to navigate.
They have to worry about what people are going to say about him wearing a dress because of the long line of dress-wearing people before him.
You definitely haven't ran into to put on the dress. I mean, you know, you have to have boundaries. You have to have limits that you refuse to cross.
Wow. I don't think anyone saw this one.
That's why China's story continues to grab attention today. Whether people agree with her views or completely reject them, her decision to step away from a career that seemed to be thriving has left many fans wondering what really caused such a dramatic change in direction. And that's where the discussion starts to get even more interesting. For years, China had been known primarily for her acting work, but after stepping back from the spotlight, her public image shifted almost completely. Instead of promoting new projects or chasing major roles, she focused much more on sharing her personal beliefs, life experiences, and the lessons she felt she had learned along the way. That change caught a lot of people off guard because it went against the path many expected her to take. In an industry where visibility is often seen as everything, China appeared far less concerned with staying in the headlines and more interested in speaking about what mattered to her personally. As a result, her audience became increasingly divided. Some admired her willingness to follow her convictions no matter the consequences, while others felt she was turning away from opportunities that many aspiring performers spend years trying to achieve. Either way, the conversation around her only continued to grow.
No one in Hollywood has a memory of going to a sold-out Kevin Hart show. Have we heard of a comedian that came to L.A. and in his first year in L.A. had his own sitcom on network television and had his own movie called Soul Plane that he was leading? No, we've never heard of that before that person or since that person. What do you think of that?
As the debate continued, fans began revisiting old interviews, social media posts, and career milestones, searching for clues about when this shift first started. Some believed there were signs that China had been rethinking her future for years, while others felt the change happened much more suddenly after a series of major life events.
What made the situation stand out was how openly she discussed her transformation. Many celebrities choose to keep personal beliefs separate from their public image, but China took the opposite approach and made those conversations a central part of her platform. That decision earned her a loyal group of supporters, but it also attracted constant criticism from people who disagreed with her views. Meanwhile, questions about her career never fully disappeared. Every time a new project was announced or a former co-star made headlines, fans would once again wonder whether China would ever return to the kind of mainstream success she seemed destined for earlier in her career.
For now, though, she appears focused on a very different path than the one many expected. Even now, years after many of these debates first started, China remains a fascinating figure to both supporters and critics alike.
Where Katt Williams comes from, you keep pointing at Hollywood. Hollywood this, the white man, this, and this. When do you take responsibility for your actions? You had the shot.
Katt was in that position at one point.
You were the guy.
Yeah.
You were set up to be the star. You didn't show up to work. You off promo shoots. You your promo trips that they had set up for you. You became a risk to the studios, which is why the studios stopped with you.
Why was he a risk?
He chose you.
Unlike many former child stars who quietly fade from public attention, she continues to generate discussion whenever she shares a new message, appears in an interview, or speaks about her experiences in the entertainment world. Part of the reason her story keeps resurfacing is because it touches on bigger questions that people have been asking for decades. How much pressure do celebrities face behind the scenes? What happens when a public figure chooses a completely different direction from the one the industry expects? And how much of what fans see is the full story versus only a small piece of a much larger picture? Those questions don't have simple answers, which is exactly why the conversation refuses to go away. Whether people view China as a whistleblower, a person following her faith, or simply someone making personal life choices, her journey has become far bigger than just another Hollywood career story. What makes her story even more unusual is that she hasn't seemed interested in reversing course just to win back mainstream approval.
Yeah. Would you say you lost your mind, sort of?
No.
No.
Not exactly.
Okay.
I wasn't crazy, but it's incredibly stressful.
Yeah.
And I felt like in a lot of instances, I was deliberately being...
In an era where public figures often adjust their image to stay relevant, China has continued to stand by her views, even when doing so brings criticism and controversy. That consistency is one reason her supporters remain so loyal. They see someone who is willing to accept the consequences of her decisions, rather than changing her message to fit public expectations. To them, that's a sign of authenticity, regardless of whether everyone agrees with what she says. Critics, however, argue that stepping away from a successful career doesn't automatically prove the claims she has made about the industry. They believe it's important to separate personal beliefs from verified facts and to approach bold accusations with caution. That difference in perspective has kept the debate alive for years, and perhaps that's why China's name continues to surface in these discussions today. Her story sits at the intersection of fame, personal conviction, public scrutiny, and the ongoing curiosity people have about what really happens behind the curtain of the entertainment world.
It's a situation where now everybody's taking credit for this and that and the other, so it was getting ridiculous. And I knew I was going to leave, so I got ahead of schedule, and I bounced. And I didn't tell anybody where I was going. The whole time, they're trying to convince me I'm insane. They were trying to get me to take psychotic medication.
At the same time, it's impossible to ignore how much public perception can shape a celebrity's career. In today's social media era, a single interview, video clip, or viral post can completely change the way millions of people view someone overnight. Supporters may seek courage and honesty, while critics may seek controversy and disagreement, all from the exact same moment. That's part of what has made China's journey so heavily discussed online. Every statement she makes tends to spark new conversations, with people analyzing her words, debating her intentions, and comparing her current path to the career she once seemed poised to have. Meanwhile, many fans still remember the talented young performer who appeared in major television shows and films from an early age. Watching someone transition from rising star to outspoken commentator on faith, personal growth, and industry culture has been a surprising shift for many longtime followers. Whether that transformation ultimately strengthens her legacy or remains a point of controversy is something people continue to debate to this day.
In Hollywood, that a guy that tough will be on the street waving and screaming, they are trying to kill me. Yeah. What's going on? Why is Dave Chappelle going to Africa? Why does Mariah Carey make a $100 million deal and taking clothes off on TRL? A weak person cannot get to sit here and talk to you. Ain't no weak people talking to you. So what is happening in Hollywood? Nobody knows. The worst thing to call somebody is crazy, is dismissive. I don't understand this person, so they're crazy.
As those discussions continue, one thing has become clear. China's story means different things to different people.
Some view her as an example of someone who chose personal convictions over career opportunities, while others see her journey as a reminder of how complicated life in the public eye can be. The entertainment industry has always been surrounded by speculation, rumors, and competing narratives, which is why stories like this tend to capture so much attention. When a former star speaks openly about major life changes, people naturally become curious about what led to those decisions and whether there's more to the story than what appears on the surface. For China, that curiosity has never really faded. Even years after stepping away from the path many expected her to follow, fans are still discussing her interviews, social media posts, and public statements. Every new appearance seems to reignite interest in her journey and the choices that reshaped her career. And while opinions remain divided, the ongoing conversation proves that her impact extends far beyond the roles that first made her famous. Many supporters have praised public figures like Katt Williams and Terrence Howard for speaking openly about their perspectives and standing by their beliefs, even when those opinions spark controversy and debate. Whether people agree with them or not, their comments have certainly fueled ongoing conversations about the entertainment industry and life in the spotlight. Now, I want to hear from you. What do you think about China McClain's decision to step away from the entertainment world and focus on a different path? And what are your thoughts on Katt Williams' comments and the points he has raised over the years? Drop your opinion in the comments section below and join the conversation. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and share it with others who might find this topic interesting. And while you're here, don't forget to check out our next video for another headline-making story that's got everyone talking.